multiple components analysis with ordinary least squares regression. Wari et al. 2018 suggested that partial least square structural equation modeling enabled researchers to analyze relationship simultaneously in complex model that comprise of multiple construct, indicator variables, and structural paths. So I'm hoping that this workshop would give you something to apply, and might be with the help of this workshop you would able to complete your PhD, and might be you can able to publish paper in good respected journal. So without further delay, I would invite Dr. Kesavan to start this workshop and share the valuable knowledge with you people. So best of luck everybody for your future and for this workshop as well. See you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Salan, for the introduction, and then welcome to everybody to the this workshop. This is conducted by the UPSI, our faculty, Faculty of Management Economic UPSI. It's suppose usually our team is preparing as a two session. First is introduction, something like this workshop, 2 to 3 hours workshop. It's particularly for those students or refresh for the lecturers as well. If the student is before they go for defend proposal, that's the important thing. Okay, later I explain why. So that means the students join when write up for their proposal. So sometime the student can get the more info. Why I want to use the PLSM, and then they said use the SEM. Some said never mind, I just go for the SPSS as well. So these are the conflict among the SPSS, AMOS, PLSM, right? So they just simply write down at their proposal. When come to the defense proposal stage, they unable to deliver the message. When asked the student why you use the PLSM, they unable to answer. But they know if you use the PLSM, must it's easy for you because you just need to collect the data small size only, right? These are the issue. Yes, Dr. Salan.
Actually, this is I used to be the examiner in many PhD proposal. This is the main problem which student used to stuck. That why they are using PLS SCM. I
Yes,
I think I don't remember that any student able to give the answer that why they are applying or using or intended to use PLS SCM. So I believe that this specific workshop will give you very wide idea that why if you are try to applying PLS SCM, so then you supposed to go through from this workshop and try to note down the some points, so then it will be helpful for you in the future. Thank you.
great, doctor, for the supporting the idea. Yes, as Dr. Salan mentioned, these are the common issues. Even they write up as well. They said technique analysis. They said demographic SPSS. The other time that's PLSM. When we are asking, they found unable to answer. Right. So might be from this workshop you able get the idea when you write up for your proposal itself. So maybe you get the idea what are the steps need to return inside your proposal. And then after the workshop, then after your defend proposal, that means you confirm ready you want to use the PLS SAM. You go for data collection. After the data collection complete, we conduct another session. It's go for coaching. So that means that is a normal, is a workshop, that is a coaching. That means we provide 2 months of the session. So for the first week 2 hour, after second week is already, then following after subsequently for the 2 weeks time until the 2 months. Okay, complete. We guide you for your data analysis. That means your data, your collected data. That means we help you screening all the quality issue, STMT, funnel, lacquer, right, for the measurement. Then go for the structural until PLS predict. Then complete for your chapter 4. Then after that, you just need to write up chapter 5, just submit, go for Viva. That's it. That one is coaching, right? So these are the things we always provide at the UPSI. And then if a student go through, I only take the minimum student, just a minimum student. I don't want to go for until 50 or 60 because our aim is to deliver the best knowledge to our student, better understanding for your student. And mean we are not what we call is marketing people from the smart PLS. And we are also as a user. That means previously I'm that side, now currently supporting you for your research. Yes, Saif.
Sorry, doctor, for bothering you. Actually, since from now I need to join this one, if you will share this session for coaching from now, how to apply, because you take it a small quantity for students.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. If those who are at the UPSI, we able to guide, and also I also receive some student from the UTM as well for the coaching.
okay, since
No
from now,
problem. If you are now currently after the defense proposal, not yet.
no, finish. I am heading for pre-viva now.
Okay, you are waiting for the Viva, so you also using the PLSM. Now
Yeah,
just for you is a refreshment, right?
yeah, that's one. What he said, the doctor Arsalan, what he said.
Yeah.
Uh,
Why you use the PLSM?
yeah,
How
this
you
is
want to
very
answer for
important for
Viva
me.
now?
Yeah, actually, this is the main point.
Main point. Okay, no problem. Let's say you need the help before the Viva, just come and meet me. I guide you. What should answer if they ask the question for your chapter 4.
Inshallah.
All right.
Go
So
ahead.
without delaying, so I like to. Is it possible everyone open the camera? We take one group photo because I just worried after 2 hours everyone become tired already. Then very difficult to catch up. Nur Alia Izati. Upsi ke Nur Alia?
Open your cameras, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Jaya Kumar, I only can see your library. Jaya Kumar only has the giant library.
Excuse me, sir, I cannot open it. Is it okay to keep it like without open a camera?
Okay, because we just hopefully if everyone can see the face, I can recognize when if I have a coaching. Saif is there, Antali. Nawar Munir, are you there?
I guess it's just take the picture, doctor.
Just take the picture, right? Okay. Wait for a while. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. See, my face also already tired already. All right, so myself also I'll be off the camera because I need to share the PLS SEM software, and sometimes I need to switch to the Excel. So I just worried got a bandwidth disturbance. All right, so wait, I share the slide. So everyone can see the slides, right?
Yes,
Yes.
doctor.
All
Same.
right, all right.
Yes,
Okay.
doctor.
Okay, so welcome to the PLS SEM. So here today, what we like to focus more is when to use and how to report the result of PLS SEM. Right. So here, as initially we speak to two for the basic fundamental, then after the data collection. That's why we came out. And next is this title is we are taken from the previous article published by the Hair and the team. So in the article, they are purposely instruct what is the best way to write the reporting, right? Okay, before we moving for today, we start a bit with the research method as well, right? Because this one also we found a bit lacking with the student. Very poor research method, that means the fundamental, and they want to straight away link with the smart PLS usage, right? So this one also will be discussed at the beginning, and then we going for the basic smart PLS, and then we focusing to the when to use, how to report. Then we have a Q&A section. So we target end around 11:30. So might be it will be drag as well. Yeah, it's my based on previous experience. It sometimes can drag until 12 or 12:30, right? So that is our today's agenda. Okay, so the main target for the this course, yeah, based on this course, that means what participant able to learn from today session means you must get a best understand about the basic smart PLS. That means the fundamental. Even myself as well. First, I think for this workshop, I want to begin with the smart PLS 3. So I already prepared already everything smart PLS 3. Then suddenly received the news that smart PLS 3 only available until end of this year. So next year onwards, they are moving on to the smart PLS 4. So I need to change again everything from Smart PLS 3 changed to Smart PLS 4, and then some of the features functions are still new inside, which is they have a mediated moderator, and then they have a multiple moderator. These are the function, higher order function. The additional functions are available at Smart PLS 4, right? And then we also will be getting know about the measurement model and structural model. That means inner and the outer. And then we'll be focusing to the analysis and reporting. And then final is your own understanding, which means is that you're getting know what you learn today, and please teach to your friends, your any your clique is doing the smart PLS. Then only you able to develop your skill in this software, right? So a bit with the phase for the PhD journey. Yeah, even though some of them is a master and the PhD journey, so it's quite challenging, yeah, quite challenging for us to complete. Even myself or Dr. Asana, we also have been go through it. So that's why we take the initiation for you all to conduct this kind of the what we call the workshop to support for your analysis. Those days are very difficult identify this kind of the support. Then we also have to find our own way to learn. So nowadays we can see many courses available. So we also support for you all, right? So I think most of you at the phase one, most probably because preparing the what we call the proposal. right? So at the phase 1, and then some like SIFE is I think already at the phase 3 because of waiting for the Viva. This everyone is common for the journey. So what is the new in current days of the PhD journey is about those days always previous professors always said is a PhD or the master is about the marathon. I know it's about the marathons. That means you can't complete within less than 4 hours. So that is the challenges, right? But nowadays it's already changed to the Ironman. In my philosophy, I said it's Ironman. You must split so many struggle need to face it to complete for your PhD journey. Right, of course, the Ironman, you must go swimming, cycling, and the running because we want to find the what is the novelty in your research, what is the novelty from the literature review, from the methodology, what are the tools are using. These kind of the thing already blended in, right? Those days, the PhD is okay from the literature review conducted. What is the gap? Then identify, then merge, then at the problem statement they just put from the literature. They conduct. Nowadays, it's a blend, right? The blend means what are the new thing in your methodology, what are the new thing inside the your scope. That means the your selected industry you want to conduct this research. This one also something is new, so you need to interlink between this. That's why I always say that it's already become Iron Man ready. Then only we can found the novelty, right? Even we go for publish article also they find the new novelty, right? So that's why I always suggest to my student it's become Iron Man ready. All right, so this is the one of the paradigm of the research which is prepared by the one of the prof. Yeah, Prof. Dilip. Last time he at the UUM campus as a professor. So here is something like it's a clear picture, right? So which is before we go for the PLS SEM, what we must identify. Okay, at the left side we can see there is a positivism, right? And then it must go through from the objective, and then it can be measured. So whether it's got a concept, must have an instrument. So literature supported, must supported by the theory, must testing, must have a sufficient respondent, right? Then only come to the methodology. So it's come to the quantitative, and from the quantitative, then come to the what is the tools you want to use it for your analysis. Then only come to the PLSM. So the mean is why I explain this paradigm is some of the student even still not clear about their research method. They write up about the qualitative, and then suddenly from the qualitative they put, okay, I want to measure using the instrument, then analysis by the SPSS. So we can see that something wrong somewhere, right? And then they mention about the all the instrument testing, but they said they want to interview, also complicated, right? So here when use the PLS, we must think first. It must be literature supported, okay, and then they have a concept. So they have underpinned by the theory. You have a sufficient instrument to measure, very important. And then it's a tester. That means the instrument is a high impact instrument. You have a sufficient respondent. These are the thing you must clearly when before you go for PLSM, or you want to use the SPSS or the AMOS. These are things because it's the fundamental for the research method. So until here, any question you want to clear up? Please ask if any question. So maybe Dr. Salan can interrupt because I only can see the slide. I cannot see the who are the respondent. Anyone? So you can on your mic and ask the question.
Yes, sorry, doctor. I raised my hand. Maybe you don't see. Um, it's different between SIM Amos and SIM BLS.
Yes, both are is under the tools because PLSM and MOS is a tools
Okay.
for the quantitative. We
Okay.
cannot misinterpret. Don't misinterpret. Is go for the qualitative. The issues are found. Some student they mention about the qualitative method. Then suddenly they jump to the PLS, SEM or MOS, SPSS. So you must clear to the left side.
Okay.
So it's
Thank
a
you.
it's a tools. SPSS, MOS or Israel. Everything is a tools under the quantity. If the qualitative is the en vivo, I think en vivo atlas. That is for the qualitative,
It's clear. Thank
right?
you, doctor.
And then here, what is we want to clear mention is the concept and instrument. That's why at this paradigm they highlighted with the red, right? The instrument. These are the thing. One of the important instrument. If in your focus research the instrument not available, that means as previous professor mentioned, it must go to the qualitative if there is no instrument available, right? So if there is a sufficient instrument available, so you can use it for the quantitative, no problem. There's no issue. That is the thing we must clear. That's the thing. But also some research mentioned that there is many research conducted in quantitative. That's why you go for qualitative. This justification also very difficult to accept it because the instrument also developed from the beginning from the qualitative, then come to the quantitative. So if the instrument available, then okay. If unless the respondent is a very low respondent, then is have to go to the qualitative. That is the we must clear in our research methodology. It's a fundamental. Respondent able to test, you have a sufficient instrument, is a theory supported. That means the underpinning theory, the concept available, literature available, then you can go for the quantitative for the methodology. Clear?
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Okay. Because I can see.
Doctor, I have a question. You are
Yes.
you are saying that if the respondent are very low, okay, if the participants who are supposed to answer the questionnaire, if they are very low, then we go with the qualitative. So
Qualitative. The
yeah,
response. The
on
low mean how low is your respondent, Sharifa?
yeah, this is the thing. I want to know how we measure that it is low.
Okay. In your scope, your population. Can you explain your population quantity?
The quantity,
Yeah, your
it is
population. Population
the
volume.
yeah, the population is 700.
Okay. So it means before you engage with the PLS, my
Mm,
advice, because your as you mentioned, the population is 700, you try to use the G power analysis because I'm not
mm,
sure how G power analysis engage with the variable.
mm.
So G power analysis will suggest you what is your minimum sample.
Yes, the
Minimum
minimum
sample.
sample
That is
size.
a
Okay.
minimum sample they mentioned because uh, if your model is more complex,
Hmm.
you have a more complex and you have a minimum respondent, then you definitely you will get a problem when you make analysis. It's become error because if they mention there is a not enough strength to analysis between the variable.
Yes. Yeah. I got your point.
So, so when you use the G power,
Hmm.
also you have a reason. Of course, we don't. Today is not we not involving with the G power because it seems you're already asking. So I'm explain to you because why you want to use the G power. As you mentioned, your population is a 700. So now because you already worried ready, so there is a possibility minimum sample, right? So you can
Yes.
use the G power in your case, but there is cases, for example, customer at the bank, for example, right? So the banking customer is huge, right?
Yes.
So if the customer is huge, you cannot simply say, I want to go for use the G power, want to measure the minimum sample. So in this scenario, you definitely can get the more sample. Am I right?
Mm.
That's why here some student misinterpret why they are using the PLSM. It means PLSM sufficient for the minimum sample size doesn't mean you can use it even though your population is high. That's the thing. We must clear about it.
Okay.
In your case, you can proceed with the G power, consult with your supervisor. Okay, this then you after data collection, after screening with the outlier, everything, your sample for analysis must be more than minimum sample size.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say G power said is a minimum sample size 112 or 115. At least you must go for 120 or something. What the advice?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you must clear about it.
Okay.
All right.
Doctor,
Yeah.
I want to ask one question. How about the instrument we are using for the our research? Let's say we are using adopt the questionnaire from others. Let's say we using PLSM or adopt using the AMOS. Is it true the instruction like that?
Okay. This one is based on my experience. I have been run the analysis from the previous analysis they using the SPSS. So I just adopt and I didn't change anything. So I just data collection. Then when I run with the PLSM. That means from SPSS I collect the data and import inside the PLSM. That means I found that I need to eliminate more uh, indicators. That means more instrument I need to eliminate. So according to the PLS SEM function, let's say your indicator is you eliminate more than 20%, then you need to go again with the EFA, right? Exploratory factor analysis. But this instrument is using the SPSS when run the EFA is sufficient. But when come to the PLSM, become a big problem happen. So when I overcome, how to overcome, then I try to take from the EMOS, I take the instrument. So that means from the past research, from the literature review, I collect some instrument, they are using the EMOS or PLSM instrument I took. And then I conduct the data collection and run with the PLSM is perfectly matched.
Okay.
So from my experience, I found these are the things happen. So it doesn't mean you can't take the what we call the instrument from the SPSS can, but you must more be careful. And then please check when this research conducted. So what are the recent research conducted in particular this field? Right? For example, when we are focusing to the marketing for entrepreneurship is a huge field. So always many article is published. So nowadays for entrepreneurship, if I took the instrument which is already more than 20 years use and bring it to the PLSM, so can be become this issue. For the recent article is entrepreneurship also can use the SPSS and from the literature also they use the MOS and PLSM. So might be you can avoid this issue.
Okay, doctor.
This
Thank you.
one we must be careful during the instrument development stage. Must be careful, because most of the students just adapt from the previous instrument and then just collect the data, but definitely they will face the challenges when come to the analysis. Definitely, we must be
Okay, doctor.
clear.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, doctor. Thank
Okay.
you.
So next we are moving on to, I think this slide, yeah, make it bigger is perfect. Okay, next we are moving on to practice makes perfect. So why I select this tagline is today you all learn about this workshop about the PLS SAM, all those things. After this, please practice. Not only for you, myself, or Dr. Salah, same thing. As I just now mentioned, previously I hands-on with the PLS 3, suddenly changed to PLS 4. Then I need to frequently hands-on with the PLS 4. Then only we can see, because it's related to the IT, because IT is always improving. Right. So then only we have wider knowledge how to use this software. So you can practice, you can share with your friends or share with your supervisor what you learn, how to do the analysis. Then you can make perfect, then get ready for your Viva. Right? So that's it. Okay, and then why PLS SEM? Right? So we narrow down to the why PLSN by using the smart PLS. Okay, so here always become argument, right? Always become argument. Want to use the AMOS, want to use the PLSM, right? If some student say, in my research, I am using the AMOS because AMOS is perfect, as my supervisor said. So another student start argue already. Oh, if like that, I also want to follow your AMOS. Cannot. It's depend to your research objective. What is the solution you want to give it? What you want to measure? Right? These are the things. Of course, CBSAM and PLSM is a second generation. Previously, it came from the SPSS. Right? From the usage from the SPSS, of course, those days when become a complex relationship, of course, very difficult to make analysis, because you can't get the clear picture of your model. So that's why they came up with the second generation CBSAM and PLSM. But there is a argument, and then this argument continue still continue, right? So it's the comparison CBSAM and the PLSM, right? So for the CBSAM, it's a more focusing to the covariant base. Yeah, that's why covariant based structural equation modeling. But for the PLSM, it's a variance based. That means it's a explain, right? So next is for it's just assuming the multivariate normality. That's why when you use the CBSAM, your data must normal. So you must do the normality assessment. But when go for the PLSM, you no need to worry about the normality, right? Sometimes we go for SPSS also, we do the assumption right before the regression. One of thing is a normality testing. For the PLSM, you no need to worry. You just need to run, right? And then for the CBSAM, you must get the high sample size, right? 500, 600. Then only you're able to get the data. But the PLSM, it can be run with a small sample size, as just now I discussed with one of the participants about the context of the research. All right, and then for the CBSAM, it's a defined convergent as an increase or decrease in the function value beyond the certain threshold. So here for the PLSM, it's defined convergent at the point which no substantial different occurs from one interaction to the next. Okay, And then for the CBSEM, it is the one of the plus point is they can get from the goodness of fit, right? For example, they want to compare with the model previous and the current one, so it's got some analysis. It shows that, which means that the model is a fit. If the model is a fit, so if they say the recommendation, their research is good, and then they can make a conclusion, can further, then it's a recommendation, right, for the model of the fit. But at the PLSM, previously we can find there is a lacking. So they also came up with the model fit, model of the fit. But recently, we able to overcome with the PLS prediction. Right, from the last part of the analysis, there's a PLS predict. So from here, you can say that about your model fitness as well. Okay. And then it's for the CBSEM, it's a trade construct as a common factor. It's only one common variant is used, estimate a model parameter. But for the PLSM, it's a trade construct as a composite. That means the total variance is used to estimate model parameter. But these are the most different within the CBSEM, PLSM. So which means that if ask myself, I believe that both of them is a won't stop at this stage. Will be continue. So we are as a user, we just able to get which is the best practice according to our research. That is the smart way. We no need to argue because why you use the CBSEM, why you go for the PLSM. Even my student, even though I'm conduct this workshop, exchanging knowledge about the PLSM, my student also using the Amos by using the CPSAM. I cannot say no, you are wrong. You must use the PLSM because as a supervisor said no. Because she said she want to test the model fit and she said she can able to get the high sample size, everything. So I said, okay, go ahead. Because it's become one of her objective of the research. I think somebody raised hand.
Yeah, sorry.
Hi.
Can you return for the presentation, please? The same.
Which one? The slide.
For different between CB SEM and
CB SEM, of course.
here, this is the third point here. Generally require high sample size and work with small sample size.
Yeah, it's a general high sample size because of what we call when they want to go for normality.
Okay.
Because of normality. Because for the if your data is not normal, you very difficult to find run the analysis. That means your analysis data is a problem. So that's why you need a high sample size because you want to fulfill the criteria of the normality.
Okay.
So at the PLSM, it can be run with the small sample size, right? Because PLSM won't bother whether your data is normal or not normal.
Okay.
They can run, but don't take it as an advantage in your analysis. That's the thing, because we still need to refer to your population. We must clear in mind.
Okay, thank you.
That is the thing. But if your supervisor and if ask myself, even though when you're using the PLSM, you said, okay, my data is no, using the PLSM, you can still can run normal or not normal. Better when reporting, you please show or please report whether your data is or not normal. Just reporting. You just explain normal or not normal, right? So might be you can minimize the question during the Viva as well. How you know your analysis, this respondent or your set of data is not normal or not normal. So you better reporting. It's my advice.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, all right. Okay, so here additional good reason to use the PLSM. Okay, so first thing is it's a complex model, right? Complex model. So from where it's come for the complex model, because still remember when I mentioned about the Ironman, not a marathon ready, right? So from here, it's become a complex model. So that means two of your underpinning theory, you merge it, right? Two or three theories. Even when we've asked the Dr. Salan, when he's expert in a Q1 article, a publication, they said Q1, they want to know what is the novelty in your research. So if always you mention about the only one theory inside, that is it's a common ready. They want more complex model for the paper publication, right? And then at the literature, from the literature, you want to write out the problem statement. You want to know, okay, you want to know there is an issue. So you want to blend with the 2 or 3 theory for those go for the PhD, right? Even Spicer said, oh, you must for the PhD requirement must at least have 3 theories to support it. That means underpinning theory, right? So that we call is a complex model. Yeah, you must be identified. That means you have many construct, indicator, structure model relationship, right? These are the things. Okay, and then integration of formatively measure construct. So that means you can consider differentiation between a casual indicator and composite indicators. And as working with the small sample size when the population is small. These are the things always I remind with those participants at the workshop. Please don't underestimate. Okay, PLSM play out of the advantage when its population is small. In consequence, the researcher deal with small but representative the sample. You must know your population, then only conduct. If previously it's one participant said, if the sample is very small, you can using the G power, getting the minimum sample size, and then you get the respondent. So it should be okay. And then now it's more focused on prediction, right? So it's usually the CBSAM always we want for the fitness, goodness of the fitness. They got a value for the MOS to identify, okay, my model is a fit. So for the PLS time, we using the PLS predict. Let me go for the applicable model in our research. And then focus on exploring new relationship. Right, of course, we want to develop a complex model. So from there, we can get a new relationship, right? So might be, for example, we have a technology acceptance model. Then we want to blend with the entrepreneurial intention. Then what is related to the performance. So these are the things. It's almost a 3 theories blend inside, so that we can get a new relationship, from the hypothesized model that has a reasonable good theoretical support. So these are the thing is a good reason to use the PLSM. So why I highlight just a common way is if they asking during the defense proposal, right? So maybe the panel asking why you want to use the PLSM, why you don't want to go for the SPSS, right? That's a simple question. I think common Dr. Asalan also always asking this question for the student. Why use the PLSI? Even SPSS also can run. MOS also can run, right? So these are the reason you need to explain. So you can also write at the chapter 3, right? Why you want to use the PLS SAM. So later, maybe at the end of the section, I show you the ebook of the latest publication by their team. So I share to you because that one is don't have is a PDF copy. It's just an ebook. So from there also you can take some notes for your citation as well. All right. So additional information when used the PLS because concerning with the testing theoretical framework from the prediction perspective. Okay, as I mentioned, it's a structural model. It's a complex. Let me have many construct. So better understanding increasing complexity by exploring theoretical extension. Right. So that means you explore the research. That's why you blend many construct, new hypothesis develop, right? And then part model includes one or more formatively measured construct, right? And then research consists of a financial ratio or similar type of the artifact. And then research is based on the secondary data. Nowadays, secondary data also already can run with the PLS SEM. So those are at the financial can use the secondary data as well. Okay, and then the population size, and then let's say your data is have a normality issue ready. So from the literature, they said in some portion of the population, they said it's a normality issue. From the literature, you know already there is a normality issue, definitely. So there is a reason, you know, earlier you want to go for the PLS SEM. This is one of the plus point, right? And then the research requires a latent variable score, the follow up with the analysis. Yeah, further analysis. These are the some reason you must know before go for defense proposal or viva. And definitely they asking this kind of the question. So please, you no need to memorize. You just focusing your research, so you able to explain to them why use the PLSM. Please don't say because my supervisor asked, that's why I'm using the PLSM. That is the you like to avoid. So when go for the CBSEN, because you want to testing the theory. How you want to confirm the testing the theory? That is the additional question, right? So the goal is the testing theory. You need to check again your research objective. Let's say at the research objective, you already mentioned you want to test the theory. So it's a definitely you go for the CBSEN using the MOS. That's a clear cut. So previously there is a one student consult with me because he said he take the one thesis from his friend. He want to follow his write up for the using. Then come to me. I have a cross check. They said he want to use the PLSM. When I go through check, I said you cannot because he said his supervisor said can. I said cannot. The reason is when I check the thesis itself at the objective, they mention one of the objective is they want to test the theory. So then asking whether you want to test the theory. No, there is a new relationship. Then definitely you cannot use the MO. You must go for the PLSM. Unless then the supervisor say, no, you want to test the theory. No, that cannot. You cannot go for the PLSM. You must go for the CBSEM. We must clear cut whether you want to test the theory or not. That's the first point. For those who want to go for the write-up stage, please consider this. Whether your objective is to test the theory or you want to explore it. Right. So if you want to explore to a more theory, so that means you can go for the PLS SEM. Right. And then error term require additional specification, such as covariation. And then a structure model as a circular relationship. Then the research requires a global goodness of fit filtration. Right. So the more info you can get, the many article available. And then today I just referring to this article for your interpretation. Right. Just straightforward. Okay, these are the one example of the complex model, because these are the model is available at the PLSM, so it's easy for you understanding. We can see the many networks, something like a web here already. So it's one of the complex model, right? So if these are the situation, then you may consider go for the PLS SAM. So I can mention to you, if you want to go for this kind of the complex model, please make sure your instrument development, for example, at this variable indicator or the instrument must highly impact. That means a well-established instrument. Please use the well-established instrument for the analysis. right? So that means it has been established past research, have a good validation, a good result, good recommendation, so you can use it. Please don't simply took the instrument, just bring it your analysis, just put in, so it can become a issue in your analysis. All right, so here is a example measuring the previous model about the quality, attractiveness, corporate responsibility, performance. So it shows that it's something like a complex model. Okay, and then these are the items is prepared by them. So they have around 8 question, then after that they got a 5, and then 1 to 5 and 1 to 3, right? So this one also always become argument within the some scholar with your supervisor, researcher with your supervisor, right? Some supervisor is always mentioned compared with the SPSS, right? When you run the SPSS, some scholars say, let's say your instrument is less than 5 or less than 6, there is a problem in your Chromback Alpha. I'm not sure how many of you have been heard it about it. So because you want to have a threshold value more than 7, so you must at least have more than 5 instrument, well-established instrument for your analysis, right? These are the things is more important. So these are the things please go through. Those who are preparing is proposal, please check again your instrument development. Yeah, this is my advice before you engage for analysis. Okay, this example how is the data will be appear when you run the PLS. I think this one is a 3. Yeah, this from the result from the 3, and then this is from the MOS result. Yeah, what is look like? Yeah, we can see the different. Right? Why I put this 2, because I've been go through some proposal, so they just mention about this diagram inside the write-up, but they mention about the PLSM. So even though we know very clearly what is the framework about, this definitely is a result from the MOS, right? But they mention about using the smart PLS. These are the things. It's a common issue happen when using the write-up at the chapter 3. Yeah, please go through. Okay, next a bit introduction. So about the software installation for those who are still new. So okay, I like to share the wait for a while. Okay. So far any question? Okay. This can see my screen now? Any issue?
Yes,
Can,
yes,
Doctor.
Can, all right, all right. So if got a response, then easy. Okay, actually, another thing is I'm not marketing people for the smart PLS. I'm also is a user. Please don't misunderstand why I'm promoting smart PLS. The reason is why, of course, student will found the difficulty to understand about the smart, not maybe the smart PLS software. But for me, after engage, I think it's easy for you engage with the smart PLS. Reason why, all the resources is provided here. All the resources provided here. Am I right? That means the most important is your literature. Literature is provided here. You no need to go find the literature review about the technique of the analysis, right? Everything provided here. So it's easy for you. Usually we found the difficulty to find the literature, right? So when you go for, they say they must have last 3 years literature, everything is here already. Let's say you want to explain why you use the PLSN, you can cite everything here. Let's say You want to explain about the model field here. Let's say your research field is related to the sports, so also article available. You want to have a mediation also available here. You mentioned about the any culinarity. No, no. Okay, they have what else? Higher education, operational, multi-group analysis. What else? Assessment, hospitality management, and the entrepreneurship, operational management, higher education. Everything is available here. Easy, right? So that is one of the, I can say, is a plus point for those who are using the PLSM. Right, we no need to, because most of the students also already have using the EndNote, right? You just import in, that you can use it for your uh, citation. It's straightforward, right? So at here, very simple. So that is why I explained, because I've been engaged to the, I've been joining their academy for the courses. So they said, please explain to your participant about our website. So I need to explain as well. So here there is a, okay, the link, that means you need to download, right? Once you click download, so it's automatically will be downloaded, and then where is it? It's the download. Oh, here we go. So we have a download here. Then you just need to run. Yeah? Just click to run, and then it will appear at the shortcut for the PLS4. Clear? So wait, I minimize. Okay, here. So there is a one icon, Smart PLS4. Previously, I used the PLS3, also available. I think might be end of the this year will be eliminated. So will available is the PLS4. Right? These are the icon available at the PLS4. Okay. Any question until here? If you got
No,
any
it's okay.
doubt, anything, please ask. So at least we can clear up. Any question? Miss Chin, Nita, Uda?
No, go ahead, Victor. It's okay.
So far clear, right? Why you want to use the PLSM, CPSM? You can read to your research. If anything, please ask, so we can clear up here, so we can have a better understanding. All right. If there is no question, okay. I just okay, I think somebody raised hand. No question. Okay, Miss Chin. Okay, thank you, Doctor. Okay, thank you for your reply, Miss Chin. All right. So here, the common issue in research, as I just now discussed just now, usually student or researcher misunderstood between the SEM, PLSM. That means AMOS, PLSM, CBSM, or PLSM. These are the things that happen, right? So these are the things is happen when you go for write up for your proposal. Always misunderstood. So you must clear. If your supervisor asking, so there is another issue. So might be some of the supervisor is always using the SPSS, but they also want to know about, or maybe they want their student go for the PLSM because they know already, because it's an advanced technique. When you go back to a supervisor, they ask the question, you able to answer to them why use the PLSM or you want to shift to the CBSM. So you must have a best understanding about it. So at least they clear. If not, they think it's a past knowledge. It's the bad, they argue again. So these are the issue. So better. And then no proper instrument. So as just now Mr. Jaya asking, how about the SEM, AMOS, when you use the AMOS, the SPSS, and also I also have been experienced these things. So must be careful in your instrument development. And recently, some of the researchers advise go for the market variable, go for the global item. These are the new things available. I think very less in our country they go for the market variable, or the student under Profamea. I think they started to use the market variable. They include inside the research why they use the market variable. So these are things we need to getting known about it. They mean about the instrument, sample size small, just now already discussed, and then the discriminant issue. These are the things. Discriminant issue is came along with your instrument, right? So why it's happened? I believe that as a researcher, PhD postgrad student, we submit the instrument for the validation, right? Content validation to find the expert. I think everybody will do. So please find the lecturer or professor or researcher is willing to support for your research, not only simply get approval. Okay, your instrument is fine, you can go through. No, they must able to comment thoroughly about your instrument. If not, you will face the problem and the discrimination issue. Right. So, for example, the similar question you already asked at the previous variable. There's a one question, but the similar question also have at the other variable. So when you run, there's a redundant. Right. This one also can be become discriminant issue, or your instrument is too lengthy. It's a board ready. So as in the initial of the workshop, as I mentioned, they one or two pages they honestly answer. After that, they simply marking at the okay all five or become all one. So it can be happen. Later I show to you how to solve it. This is the best part. But for the moment, I also still take long time to identify, but I try to expose to you how to solve the issue. That is the tricky, right? That is the tricky part. If I found the who said so, then later I share the information. But until now, I didn't find the citation. I'm not sure whether it's a proper or not, but there is some tricky part to avoid the discriminant issue. So at least you know, yeah, what's the thing. Then come to the data reporting. So data reporting, sometime I advise, okay, you can ask to your supervisor how they want the data reporting. For example, if you use the PLSM, they said even though your data is a normal or not normal, you can use it. But anyhow, you must report, yeah, whether your data is finding is normal or not. Yeah, that is the thing. So outlier, data screening, these are the things you need to report. And then collinearity, you must report. And then the measurement model, okay, validity, everything report. And then come to the structural model, also must be report until PLS predict. Right. So the for the PLS predict, I'm not sure it's whether it's become what we call is must, or they still considering. It's I back to your supervisor. But if I ask me, it's better you report as well, right? And then wrongly interpretation. Wrongly interpretation, that means at the p value or t value, or they got part the coefficient is a negative, then say it is not a significant. These are the issues sometimes face it. I also have been examine a few data after. For those who are at the UPSI, we have here we have a data presentation, the finding presentation. So evaluation, they said they only run PLSM within the one click only, and after that just reporting. right? So actually it's not, because we must have a few process we must go through before reporting, then only go for interpretation. And that is the step by step, right? For the at the UPSI, I prepare some guideline for the chapter 3, what to do as a technique of the analysis, and then chapter 4, what to report. But the other university, I'm not sure. If you all need, maybe later I can share with you together with this slide. I just update and send to you. So for avoid this kind of the issue. The reason why I advise this thing, I have been coach 4 candidates before they go for Viva, as we mentioned. So their feedback after the Viva, they said, examiner really happy with the reporting. This is we need. That means my part is just consult, help them for your analysis. But they said panel is happy the way reporting of the analysis, right? That means there is no question asked during the Viva. And the one student said the panel asking how you make analysis. So she just storytelling, then the panel is satisfied and then never asked the deep question. So my reply is, okay, maybe the panel is happy, or maybe they have fundamental, they're happy the way you reporting. So another one is might be the panel is don't know about the PLSM. These are two possibility. So I hope so they happy, right? These are the issue. So we try to solve this common issue for the moment at the proposal stage, right? Okay, next we moving on. As I mentioned, after install everything okay, then we go for measurement model assessment, right? Measurement model assessment. So first, we must go through the measurement model, then only go for the structural model. That means they are inner. So we complete the outer, then only come for the inner. That is the criteria. When reporting also, we must follow the step by step. All right, so these are the basic understanding. That means there is items there. All right, so there is x1, x2, x3. We call it manifest variable or indicator, right? And then there is a latent variable. So in a common academic, we say it's independent variables, right? Independent variable and then dependent variable. So we call is outer loading, okay, outer weight, and then part coefficient, right? These are the common things we must getting know, right? When run. Later I open the PLS4, then I show you some of the example fundamental. And then measurement model assessment, we divided two. That means reflective and formative. This is the best part. Okay, reflective measurement model and then formative. So for the reflective, we must go for the indicator reliability, indicator consistency reliability, convergent validity, discriminant validity, right? And then for the formative, redundancy analysis, indicator collinearity, outer weight assessment. It is a rule, it's a must. So when it's become a must in your proposal, please indicate your reflective measurement model as well, right? Where need to put, they mean technique of the analysis, you must indicate, please. Right? That means you inform to the panel, say you want to go for the reflective. If the reflective, just mention, okay, it's go for indicator reliability, you want to measure internal consistent reliability, and then convergent validity, discriminant validity. Indicate. And also go for the formative. So now, how you want to identify whether my model is reflective or formative? That is another question. Right, it's depend to your theory and the model underpinning theory, this must be. That's why at the initially, when I mentioned that supported by theory, it must come here. Okay, for example, here, triathlon fitness you want to measure. So it's they said for the triathlon you want to have fitness. It came from your lung volume, body fat percentage, amount the like that in the blood, right? That's some of the element. So if your lung volume is eliminate also, still you can get your fitness from the body fat percentage. You can still get your fitness. So in your research, in this kind of the stage, it can go for the reflective. So when reflective, the arrow is outside. Go for the indicator. Then how about the formative? Right? The formative for the fitness, the 3 item of the training they put ready: swimming, cycling, running. It's a must. It's a must. Then only it's become for your formative measurement model. Okay, this is the example. So what is I'm always highlight to my student. Okay, let's say your model name is a spider. Right, I just give an example because I don't want to put any model name then make you confusion. So model name is a spider. So can anyone tell to me spider is a how many leg? 8, right?
I'm not sure, but more than
You're
6.
not sure. Spider is a how many leg? Oh my god. Spider is a 8
8,
leg, right?
8,
Yes,
doctor.
yes.
8. How come you said
I'm
you're
just
not sure? Oh
checking.
my god.
8.
8, right? So just imagine your model is something like spider 8. That means 8 is your dimension, is a mass available in your model. That means this 8 is become your formative. You cannot be reflective. Am I right? If you eliminate 2 or 3, that means you already cut off 2 or 3 leg, then mean it's not a spider anymore. Am I right? It might be somewhere others. So it's the 8 must be available. These are the thing we must be careful when use your PLSM. Must check with your model. That's why I always say there's a spider in my assessment. I don't want to put any example model because it can be cross what is your supervisor understanding. But actually, these are the thing fundamental. If your model is this something like a triathlon, that means or the spider is a 8 must available. All the 8 dimension must be inside your framework. Must. Whether it's a significant, not significant is after the analysis. But these 8 dimension must be there and mentioned formatively, cannot reflectively. Right? For the reflectively, just go for the item. That means the question might be. That is a possible. That's why for those for those who are already the make analysis, go for the higher order construct, the advanced level. So it's become reflective and formative for the higher order construct. All right, that means reflective for the item, formative from the dimension to the variable. It's a must. You cannot eliminate the variable. If you said I make an analysis, then based on the instruction given by the PLS, because the cannot meet the quality criteria, I must eliminate with this dimension or 2 dimension, eliminate from the model. That means something wrong somewhere in your context. Must be careful. Right, I've been go through 1 or 2 when asked the question, so they're also very difficult to answer. We must be careful. So reflective measurement model, we have indicator loading must be more than 7, indicator reliability must be more than 0.5, and then consistency reliability, that means combat alpha composite reliability must be more than 0.7, convergent validity is more than 0.5, discriminant validity must be less than 0.85, and then if possible less with the 0.9, and then final lacquer, the square root AV E must be larger than intercorrelation. Right. Okay. So, okay, I want to close the PowerPoint. I want to open the PLS SAM for so just expose to you a bit what is the PLS for, then how to you want to run, and then we interrelate what our finding at the measurement model first, right? All right, can see, right? These are the, I'm not sure for those who are using the Smart PLS 3 or something new at the PLS 4. So I think the features are here is new. All right, so something new. So we have PLS regression, then started with the process ready. So of course, this one I already predicted. When the SPSS came up with the process for the moderation analysis, then suddenly PLS4 overcome with the process and also go for the regression. But our focus is a PLS SEM. Okay. So here, when you start, you came up with the new project. Yeah, of course, came up with the new project. I have been put on trial. Okay, never mind. I put another trial. Trial 2. All right. So, okay, here, once you identify here the left side, they got a file name. So maybe you can put your name and your research progress name, and then you can import the data. Okay, so previously, what is the one finding I like to share with you? Previously, at the PLS3, it can be export in from the CSV file, right? So, but now you can straight away bring it from the SPSS as well. So, but it seems my data file is already CSV, so I just bring it in. Okay. So here it's all the information it's bring it, and then you, of course, you already got the missing value. If no missing value, you can apply the marker, so identify whether they got any missing value, and then import. All right, so here got all the information, right? So let's say you want to import, and then you can copy. All right, copy. Okay, this is the trial data which is I import you just now. I want to show to you. So and now I open the new sub file. Right. So you can directly import in. Missing skewness, standard deviation. So these are the respondent scale, median, mean, missing. Okay, what are the items? That means this one is coding. So I always say this coding, so easy for you to identify. So here I put maximize. So here I put H1, H2, H3. So usually what does the student do? They minimize the according to their variable. Right, entrepreneurial intention become EI1, EI2, so easily for them identify. That's the best way. So the coding you can import here. Okay, and then we create the model. So here you want to go for the PLSM. file name. Okay, we put the file name. Okay, workshop. All right, just put the workshop 1. Okay, these are the thing. These are the thing as happen at the PLS 4. Okay, when we hands-on, at the left side, the panel, all the items are here. From where? Okay, here we go. These are the thing. Okay, I put the side by side. So the name of the variable, H until the G5, available here until the G5. All the data at the site. So how you want to draw it in? Yeah, if those who have been PLS3 is quite different, so we can import. So what I always I put H1. Let's say I put a H1. So please don't ask me what is the variable about the H1 because I also don't know. I frankly speaking, I also don't know because I in my classes I don't want to put any variable because I've been one case, one student is misunderstood, argue with the supervisor. How come at the workshop is using at the mediation? How come she using at the independent variable? So I said that's the one for the workshop. So it's a big argument. So I better change to the putting the alphabet. All right. So these are the thing H. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a item, which means is your instrument, right? And then here you just right click, you can change it to the left, okay, or you want to make it to the top, also can. Take it on the bottom also can. Yeah, so we can put it at the okay. I put it at the left. Okay, H. This H variable. All right, so I just put a one. Okay, one variable. Then I bring it to the A. Okay, A, just a put here. All right, so there is A here. Okay, so definitely it's right hand side. Okay, so it can be got one green line in between. So it can be give some directional. So whether it's a center line or not. So in a previous software, Smart PLS 3, I think we must click both circle to make it is a alignment. It's a vertical or horizontal. These are the thing happen. But for PLS4, it's a quite straightforward and then user friendly as well. User friendly as well, so you can identify. There's a green highlight here. So next, okay, now mind we bring it to the C variable. Okay, C. So here also when bring it, you can rename it, okay, or just press enter, so you can get it here. Okay, so it's still not connected. Okay, just click connect and press inside the circle and drag to the A and then C to the A. So now it's changed to the blue color. That means it's an indication saying that you are ready for analysis. Run the software. Any questions so far? Like to ask for those
Yes,
who are
doctor.
first time.
Yes, doctor. Why we not take it B?
Pardon? Why didn't take the B?
Yeah.
No, I just give you the example only. You can take it.
Okay,
It's
okay,
up to
okay.
your model. It doesn't matter.
Okay, okay. Understand.
It doesn't matter. Right?
Okay.
So here is a fixed idea. Just take the example. If you want a complex model also, you can take it, no problem. Or you want try, I'm not sure because you don't have the license. So you want to try also, no problem. Sometimes they provide the license. So here, sometimes you want to change the bold, italic, underline. So there's a function is the right hand side for the tools, for the shape, the border. You can hands on. So on. Okay, now, okay, I show to here. Okay, measurement. reflective measurement, formative measurement, right? All right. Based on your literature review theory, underpinning theory, say H and C is inside your model. So this arrow showing that formative, right? So for the indicator, H2, H1 until H6 is a reflective. Yeah, reflective, huh? This one. Yeah, H1 until H6 is a reflective. Okay. Let's say you want to change it to the formative, right? So this one you want to go for formative. That means from the theory you found that H1, H6 is a must in your framework. So just change it, right? Right click, inverse the measurement model. So it can be reversed. Right, you can see, right, this arrow. Okay, this arrow. So invert. This one reflective. Yeah. So if the question asking, can you explain about the reflective and formative, you able to answer. Right. That means if reflective, you may eliminate one or two here. But if it shows that is formative, but H1 until H6 is a must have some assessment you must go through before eliminate. Why? But it must be supported by theory. Must be careful. This one is a formative. These are the thing is we check at the here for the swimming, cycling, and running. Right? Zoom it. All right, I better connect to here to here. Okay. All right. After run everything. Okay. After checking everything, let's say this is your example of the simple model. Just click the calculate and go for PLS logarithm. Standardize, right? The path. Okay. Standard setting. Please don't change anything. Just default setting. Start calculate. Okay. The results are here ready. So this one is a measurement model for formative, right? Formative model for the indicator is reflective, right? So here, what we found, all the numbers, right? All the numbers. So here is a formative, here is a reflective, right? So as here, okay, these are the thing threshold value we must go through. Yeah, oops, here. Yeah, must make sure. So from where we must open the report. So the smart PLS 4 at the left sides all already list down all the reports. So easy for you. Yeah, easy for you. All right, so the outer loading. These are the things. Yeah, available. So what they say, auto loading. Indicator must be 0.7 above. Okay, please wait, 0.7 above. Okay, here is a less, here is a less, here is a less, right? So of course it indicates a red color. It doesn't mean give you warning, right? Warning to eliminate, but wait for a while, right? And then reliability is a 0.5, and then Chromebase Alpha 0.7, AVE 0.5. All right. So when you make the decision whether you want to remain or eliminate, please check with your Chromebase Alpha, composite liability, and AVE. Right? It's must interrelate. when we use the smart PLS for those days, smart PLS 2, when there is a loading item is less than 0.7, immediately eliminate. Yeah, there's one point time, immediately eliminate. Then there is an issue. So now, after some improvement, validation, they said if your AVE is more than 0.5, so you can remain it. Yeah, you can remain it. Right, for the indicator. For example, this indicator is 0.5, but the AVE is more than 0.5, so you can remain it. You cannot remove. That is the requirement. Clear? Because it's more than 0.5. Okay, let's say it's become less than 0.5. Okay, less than 0.5. So, for example, here, okay, I zoom in it. Here they say what is the AVE 0.636, right? The result shows that at the A variable A, so the dependent variable, so shows that 0.636. What happens if AVE is less than 0.5? Yeah, just assuming it's a 0.5. That means you need to identify which item is lowest score. You need to eliminate one and run again the analysis. Right. So just assuming it's less. Okay, A10 is oops. Less, right? Eliminate. Then you need to run again. Right. So now AVE become 0.651. Right. It's an improve. Right. If there is a 0.5 and below, you need to eliminate one by one from the lowest. However, if your indicator is less than 0.4, you can delete it. Less than 0.4, you just delete it and then consider run again the path algorithm. It's a compulsory. So some trainer they advise okay, you already identify which are the items you can eliminate immediately everything in one, but please don't, you go for one by one. Please run one by one, eliminate until you get the AVE is a 0.5 and above. Yeah, that's the thing. Why I here is I'm particularly explain about it because your elimination is only can done during the measurement model. After this, at the structural model, you can't eliminate any of the items, right? You just need to report only. Just run, take the result and report. That's the thing. Even you run the PLS predict, get the result and report it. That's it. Only the elimination of the item at this stage. That means the measurement stage. So that's why you must be careful. Right? And then make sure the Chrombe alpha 0.7 above, and then R square value, okay, got everything. Composite liability have Chrombe alpha is optimal, composite liability, okay, everything is good. These are things you need to consider. according to this threshold value. Clear? Okay, these are the things just now I am explaining. Right. So when you actually the reason is when you eliminate the item, it's definitely when you can get the AVE more than 0.5 if the item's score can say is more than 50%. Yeah, it's from the calculation for the statistical. These are the reason. That's why you must go one by one. Right. So next is about the discriminant validity. These are the thing is one of the usually the student found the difficulty, yeah, to solve it. Those days, yes, we go for the funnel lacquer. Okay, funnel lacquer. So that means the value of the A to the A is a 0.807 and C to the C is a 0.783. If you got a more what we call a more result, that means it's expand something like a ladder. It means that the score value of this correlation must be higher compared with the next. Right, so if the A to the A is a 0.807 and the C is a 0.8783, right? If A to the C, let's say the 0.696, and here the result shows that 0.9 something here. That means there is a discriminant issue is available, right? There is a issue of the discriminant. Okay, funnel lacquer. And then next we moving on to the HTMT matrix. Right, because we only use the two variable, you only find the only one for the HTMT 0.735. So it's suppose you've got a big model, so you can get something like this, right? HTMT. It means it's a correlation between the threads. Yeah, we must be identified. So what are the issues happen when the run the analysis, and here you found the value more than 0.9? That means there is the issue of the discriminant value, right? And here for the intercorrelation, so you found that the value is more than 0.9. Right. So what are the tricks you must identify to solve it? Yeah, that is the another thing we must understand. Right. So the best thing you need to solve is you please check your funnel lacquer calculation. So that means as I mentioned, said let's say is STMT here found is more than 0.85 or 0.9. That means you please cross check with the funnel lacquer. So here might be have a 0.9 something. That means higher than 0.8 and higher than 0.7. That means there is a discriminant issue. So now how to solve it? Please check at your cross loading. These are the things, another best part. Okay, cross loading. So at here, cross loading, what are the we need to identify is, okay, this value, that means the items and the variable A, the result of this item must be higher than C and H. That is the compulsory. Clear? So when you check, you can see this value is a higher, must higher, right? So when you go for C and then H, Here also I highlight. Okay. Higher, right? This value. Higher. You just need to compare with the at the side. This one will be higher. Definitely higher. Right. That's why at the funnel locker and HTMT you cannot find the rate. Didn't highlight it with the rate. Okay, what happened if the, as I mentioned previously, at the HTMT is become red and funnel locker value is error. So when you check here, for example, A to the C, there is a discriminant issue. It means that at A and C, the value, so might be, for example, at, okay, I'm highlighted. Oops. Highlighted this value. Okay, these two value, just assuming here 0.676, but here 0.448. So when you identify the difference, okay, wait. I think better I take and put at the Excel. Okay, here. Let's do this one minus this one. All right. So here we can see that the difference is more than 0.1. So the problem happen when, okay, for example, here 0.7. Okay. Yeah, right? All right. Let's say when you found that at the cross loading, these are the thing happen. That means the value is less than 0.1. That means this item, I go back to the PLS. So that means that this item A1 can consider to eliminate. Clear? Any question? If cannot understand, please ask. I can repeat. Saif, okay? Are you clear, Saif?
Yes, doctor. I'm with you.
Okay, you clear, right?
Yes, I clear now. I watch different.
These are the thing. If they mention about the cross loading, if you found that at the discriminant validity is a red color, that means alert ready. Because of the
Yes.
PLS is become a red at the HTMT or funnel locker is something got a problem, you must check at the cross loading. Right? I just showed to you one example. If
Yes.
this one is a less than wait, I put a sign less than 0.1. Right, from the literature say the less than 0.1, then you found this might be can be issue. That means you need to consider for removal of the item, or it can be AC or also can be here. Right, both also same, right? C to A.
Yes.
So
Yes.
these are the two things you need to consider. So which one is that you need to consider? You just transfer to the Excel file and then you get the result. Okay, which one is less than 0.1. So but sometime I will be consider if the result is almost same also I can consider. If there is a two item is saying that okay, it's more to the less than 0.1, most to the almost to the 0 also, you can consider removal. Right? So from where this happened, remember I mentioned when you develop the instrument, the question is something like a redundancy, right? So here we'll get the impact. That's the problematic here. So the instrument validation is should be careful. They when go for the answer. So when eliminate. So might be a participant asking, So how much I need to eliminate to get the measurement model, that means the quality criteria is fulfilled, right? So that is another question always in your mind. So that means when come to the fulfill, right? So these are the quality criteria need to fulfill for the reflection model, right? So how many you able to eliminate, right? So some researcher from the PLSN said, according to even inside the Prof. Ramaya's book also, he mentioned saying that cannot be more than 20% of the instrument, cannot be more than 20%. For example, if your questionnaire got 100 question, so 100 question, that means here the yellow color is the item is 100. That means you cannot eliminate the item more than 20. That's the thing. I give the ratio. So I mean more than 80% must be remain. Right? So if when you eliminate, so you very difficult to get the AVE, you already started eliminate. And then when come to the discriminant validity, also you started to eliminate. So these are the thing you already started to eliminate. But already more than 20%, what should do? That means you must go back, run the EFA, explanatory factor analysis at the SPSS. Run again. Check the thing, whether the instrument is correct or not. Because these are the thing also, argument always happen at the chapter 3 and chapter 4 among the researcher, among the supervisor, among the panel. So my advice, when you want to use the EFA means, let's say your instrument development, so you take the adopt and adapt. That means you take some previous scholars instrument, you make some changes, you add on new item, additional item. Better run EFA before use the PLSM. Please remember this. Right? If you take 100% from the previously, didn't change anything, just use it, so there is a possibility you save. But to confirm it, please run the EFA to fulfill the satisfaction for your panel, for your supervisor. Now, that is my advice. Just run the EFA. Just run the EFA by the SPSS to showing that you already completed. Then only go to the PLSM. Yeah, that is another way to report it. Clear? Any question? Saib, are you clear?
Yes, Doctor, yes.
Okay, so for elimination also there is some one of the guideline. You cannot simply eliminate all the items simply. All right, so you must have some threshold value. Okay, next after the settle for the reflective, so these are the some example how you want to report it. Yeah, so these are some example reported. You have your item at the left, and then you can put your variable, what is the factor loading. Yeah, put here. And then for the cross loading also they put side by side, right? You explain. And these are the another way for the construct validity. So put the item, the sample size, sample mean, standard error, t value, p value also they put together with your reflective measurement. So when go through by the university and then according to their guideline, they have a different, right? Different. Please refer to your guideline how you want to report it, yeah, one by one. But the items it's mentioned here, console liability, convergent validity, discriminant validity, you must report. That means it's become of your subtopic at the chapter 4 and explain it at the chapter 3. Yeah, that is the must. Okay, this is some of the convergent validity, how they report. Okay, these are for the funnel lacquer. As I mentioned just now, you've got more than one or two. This is some ladder step. Yeah, you need to highlight here. So this the value should be more when compared with the others, right? These are the value. Okay, this one for the HTMT. So this is the one of the format, high and low they put, but here they got a value. This value is the one must be less than 0.85, or the best thing is got 0.9. If more than 0.9, then you must check with the cross loading. Right, even previously they said must check for the significant level, all those things, but for the reason one, they check with the cross loading. Please check whether there is a discriminant issue is available. Yeah, these are the things. Okay, next, after that, we moving on to the formative measurement. For the formative measurement, we must conduct with the redundancy analysis. Redundancy analysis and the coronarity indicator. That means VIF must be less than 0.5, no, 0.5, no, 5. And last time is 10, then moving on to the 5, and recently it's going to 3.3. So I'm mistaken. Right, and then outer weight is must be significant. So check the outer weight, absolute and relative size. If let's say outer weight is not significant, then you need to consider this flow. Right, for the quality issue, you must have less with the 5 BIF, right, for the analyze. If let's say there is a more than 5, please check with the quality issue. Let's say no critical level, okay, that means you can continue analyze. If let's say more than 5, you check with the outer weight significant testing, right, with the bootstrapping. So whether it's significant or not significant. If not significant, analyze formative indicator, outer loading must perform. If the outer loading is less than 0.5, then you can moving on to the formative indicator, outer loading. So if the outer loading is not significant, so you can delete. If is less but it is a significant, you can consider. These are the two conditions, right? So if there is outer loading more than 5, you can keep it. So these are the things, some process for decision making. If there is a issue, go for the formative. That's why I said when go for the formative, as I mentioned, is theory something like a spider must have 8 legs. You want to remove 1 or 2. These are the process must be considered. But the problem is when you delete the indicator or eliminate the variable, then you must be careful with your theory. Yeah, that is the thing. So this is the reporting for the formative. So from where? So here, so H I already prepared for the formative, so we can check the report for the H. Yeah, right. So these are the things we need to consider. If not, then we when run the bootstrap, we can check with the significant. Clear? And here also same thing. You want to eliminate, please be careful. Must be cannot or must be more than cannot eliminate more than 20%. These are the compulsory to make sure your model is reliable. Okay, so after clear elimination, now is quality criteria, everything is fulfilled. That means up after this, for the structural model assessment, that means we will moving on to the bootstrapping. You can't eliminate any of the item. You just need to reporting as well. So the elimination process, quality criteria screening, everything is up to the measurement model. Right. Please don't, okay, for the fulfill the criteria for the measurement model, you already eliminate. And then when structure model, you find that, oh, okay, this one is fine, not significant. So you don't please eliminate few of the item, then to adjust for your structural model. Please, don't. That is not a process. After eliminate the measurement model, then you just continue with the structural model. So whether it's a significant, not significant, you must link to your past research with your theory. That's the thing. Okay, for the structural model, you must came out with the inner collinearity, path coefficient, significance of the path coefficient, and then coefficient of the determination, effect size, and predictive relevant. Right. So here we run with bootstrapping. Okay, we go for the bootstrapping method, which is okay. Here there is, right. We go for the 5,000 or 10,000. So here, please check your laptop or PC's capacity, because I've been experienced before when go for 10,000 until my laptop is a hang ready. Right. So you can consider your processor as well. So its size of bootstrap is equal to the size of original sample, or can be higher. So it came out with the parameter evaluation for the t value. From the t value also we can identify. So 1.96 for the two tail, 1.92 for the one tail. And then no sign change, then we select the bias corrected acceleration. Right, so it's supposed the PLS form. All right, so for the structural model, please consider the prediction collinearity must be less than 5 path coefficient. So identify, as I mentioned, if the one tail, the t value must be more than 1.65. Yeah, we must consider. And then if the two tail is 1.96. So how you want to identify one tail or two tail? That is one of the tricky part here. Usually students make a problem. So if your hypothesis, research objective hypothesis is directional. Yeah, so positive significant, when you develop is become a directional, it means it's become one tail. If you mention about the general, whether it's a significant, it's become a two tail. So from your bell curve is a left and right, so it's a directional, so it's a right only. So that's why it's a become a 1.65. For two tail is a 1.96. Must be careful. And then coefficient of determination is R2 depend on the research field, but in general, 0.75 is a substantial, 0.5 is a moderate, 0.25 is a weak. Right. So when you go for effect size, it's come to 0.35 is for large, 0.15 is a moderate, 0.02 is a small effect size. Okay, and then predictive relevance, Q square, right? Q square stone geyser value must be larger than 0, right? And next, for the structure model, we include the PLS predict value should be larger than 0. And then when the assess the MV prediction summary, PLS must be less than LM, right? So it must be the result must be the negative. So here a bit for those who might be already run with the blindfolding. At the PLS4, there is no blindfolding functions. They merge with the Q square. You know, right? If those who are experienced with the PLS3, there is a function for the blindfolding, but here not available. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so now we are moving on here. All right, so yeah, just simply I run for bootstrapping. So here 5,000. So here I go for bias corrected. So I say directional is a 1, significant 0.05, and start calculate. All right, so here what is called outer model, inner model. Okay, inner model I want path coefficient and p-value. Okay, it shows that there is a significant. Oh, okay, this one is the outer model, is a p-value, right? So you can shift here to identify. Let's say you need a path coefficient and t-value also here, right? So the t-value. So here just now you mentioned identify here, right? One tail, two tail. So 1.96, 1.65. So here you can get from here. Let's say it's not significant, so it must be less than 1.65 already. The result. Okay, when we open the report, so you can get all the result, right? The simple way is just copy to Excel and paste it, right? And then you can report as where got the example report. Okay, you can put here, right? So whether it's you want the decision supported or not supported, whether what is the p value, the t value, right? And then a standard error, path coefficient, what's the relationship? So it's depend how you want to make a report. Easy way. Everything is straightforward. So after this, please don't eliminate any indicator. Yeah, it's clear. So next, after the report, okay, and we moving on to the PLS predict. These are the thing is something we can proud to say that we can challenge to the MOS is goodness of the fit, right? So it's about the usually those who are at the I always say the sampling. When come to the sampling, we must take the some sample for the testing. Yeah, that's why they say this holdout sample because the testing sample because the sample is not used to estimate the model. That means data work prediction will be made. That data has no influence on the estimate model. These are the some kind of the statistical prediction statistic. How to predict the error. From there, we can identify whether our model is a fit. Okay, these are the thing is a sample for the K5. They have a fold 1 until the 5, and then from here they have a tested sample and a training sample. We select, and then we run and prediction statistic we analyze. These are the something is a background function is a run at the analysis. Okay, the prediction using PLS SEM result is a user for the training estimate from the PLS SEM to predict the test sample. So the PLS predict offer two NAIF benchmark. So we have some benchmark to assess the predictive quality of the PLS path model estimation. So mean value, use the mean value for the training sample to predict the test sample. Linear model, use the multiple regression of the endogenous construct indicator on the indicator of the exogenous construct as benchmark. Right. So the procedure is what? Check whether the Q square value are larger than 0. These are the things you must indicate, must identify. And then compare MSC, MAE, and MAP of the PLSM and LM prediction. Right. For this criteria, lower PLSM result indicate higher predictive power than simple linear model, right? So how, after you eliminate from the PLS SEM minus the LM, let's say your result showing that all the indicator is a negative, then you have a high prediction power, right? These are the things. And then the result also can be used model comparison. Yeah, model comparison of a nested model. Researchers should choose the model, minimize the prediction statistic, and the units latent variable. So when we have example from the corporate reputation model, so these are things, some kind of the all the variable is blind ready. It's just among to the indicator from the independent variable is straight to the dependent variable they are using, right? These are the things. Okay, so these are the some process flow how you want to consider, right? So assess the PLSM Q square predict the value for all indicators of the measurement model. So as mentioned, let's say your model found that value is minus 0.1, then you just conclude something wrong in your model straight away. You no need to headache to manipulate the data or something. That's something wrong. So that's why they said predictive, relevant, not conform. Check your data, measurement model issue, your theory, instrument. That's the thing. If that is a minus. If your predict is a more than 0, you need to identify whether it's symmetric or non-symmetric. Yeah? If yes mean use MAE, if no mean use RMSE. But both also come to the center for the PLSM must be less than LM, right? If said, oh, for the all indicator is after minus, for example, I can say uh, 10. 10 indicator said all 10 indicator is a minus, right? That means you have a high predictive power. If from the 10 is around 6 or 7 is a minus result, then is we can say it's a medium. Or got a 3 indicator, 3 to 4 is a minus result, then we can say is a low. What happen if PLSM minus LM it's become all positive? Then it's a similar result with your PLS square predict less than 0. That means something wrong in your model. It's a clear cut, right? It's something wrong in your model. Okay, these are the thing how you want to run. Okay, let me show to the model. Okay, these are the model. All right, so calculate, run PLS predict. Run, right? So open report. So we go for the MV prediction. Okay, before that you must know, right? So here they mention about the non-asymmetrically distributed. Yeah, the prediction error non-asymmetrically distributed. So here, okay, these are the thing is it asymmetric or none? Right. So these are the thing we need to consider. Right. From here you can identify your path, whether go for no or yes. Then only you need to consider RMSE or MAE. Right. Even though both also must undergoes for the check if PLSM less than LM. So in this case, okay, let's say we go for overview. Let's say you choose here. All the thing is more than 0, right? Here, more than 0. So let's say you want to take the this data. MAE and MAE. MAE PLS, MAE PLS, for example, we take this data, copy, then put here. 1 over 3 data, 523. Okay, this one no need. Equals to this one minus this one. Okay, so here we can say put any condition formatting. All right, so here 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, from the 10, there is 3 is positive, and then 7 is negative, right? So that means we can say conclude here it's a medium predictive power. Yeah, from here this result, right? So what I mean is here they got a problem. If, for example, here, well, let me see. Okay, let's say after you minus these are the result you receive. After these are the result, that means all positive. That means there is a problem. I think here I can draw. Okay, these are the problem. If everything is a positive, as a previously, then here. These are the things you can do. Clear? Any question? And until here, predict. Saif, clear?
Understand.
Clear, Saif?
Yes.
All right, all right, all right. So these are the common thing you must understand when use the PLS predict. So how you make analysis, because must be negative. So make sure these are the value is negative. Then you can check again with your process flow. Then which stage you are, high, medium, low. So my blessing for you is hopefully at these three area. Please don't go for the fourth one. That means something wrong. Yeah,
Inshallah. Okay.
that is the thing, right? So the result immediately you can get from after analysis. Please check at the overview. Yeah, overview you can get here. So another issue, if your model have some kind of the mediation, right? Mediation also, you will get the result at this page. So please include in as well, because that one also is predicted. Yeah, please include as well. Okay, that's the thing. So these are some additional information, goodness of fit, which is we already discussed initially. For the AMOS is using the goodness of fit. So they use the global index for the research model and the compare. These are the things they previously adopt from the AMOS. All right. That one is for the go for the CBSEM. And those few years back, 5 years back, these are the some kind of the formula is proposed, by this scholar then house. That means they measure the GOF by this formula, right? I don't think so. This formula they measure, but already announced at the PLSM. Do not use it for the social science. Please don't. Yeah, no more, because we already start to implement the PLS predict. GOF, no. Okay, because the issue is not defined for the single item construct, not defined for the formative construct, not consider model complexity, R square versus adjusted R square. So they found some errors in, so it's a better don't. Yeah, please highlight to your friend, those who are still using, please highlight it. Even sometime, of course, I know they refer to the previous research or previous thesis applied, so they want to just use it. If you found this, please, you can refer, but don't. You for yourself, you just improve to the PLS predict, my advice. Okay. And then here is some kind of the additional notes I prepare for you for the description. Yeah, please later when I give, please have a look. Yeah, what are the model implied correlation versus covariance matrix? Yeah, SRMR. So these are the things initially is available at the PLS 3 for your better understanding. Okay, these are the example how to report. Yeah, so you must put the path coefficient, standard error, t value, p value, decision, r square, f square, q square, and effect size as well for the q square. Okay, here the structural model analysis, collinearity, what is the accepted level, so what is the reference, so already prepared here, so easy for you for reference. Okay, for the assessment, the index, you already can refer. Okay, for the structural model, we need to focus to the collinearity VIF because it's immediately go for the formative, and then R square value you must identify. And then sometime you can find the R square value more than 0.9. So indicative is overfit. So some scholar also will be questioning how come it's become overfit. All right. And then q square value must be larger than 0. And then from there is last time blend folding, now predicted to the PLS predict. All right. So you can measure. And these are the recommended literature. So when you found recommended literature, as I previously mentioned, please check back with their website. So all the literature available. You don't need to worry about to find the literature. Everything is available. Clear? Right. Okay, next is quite, I think, it's 11:20. Okay, next we are moving on to mediator analysis. Right, of course, mediator analysis, I straight away, I think, draw for you how come it can be mediator analysis. Okay. Okay, this one, delete. Okay. These are the thing, right? So when you draw the model, these are the thing is just an example for you for the mediator analysis. These are something look like for your mediator.
This is session now for me. because I
Yeah.
have mediator.
You have a mediator.
Yes.
Okay. So it have a concept if let's say you have a straightforward to your DV, so they came with the mediation, how it can strengthen your relationship, right? So these are the common understanding, right? So here are some of the additional notes I put for you support, right? It's something in between of the two construct, right? In between for the two construct, which is C here is in between of the H and A. That means is a C is a mediator. Yeah, we must careful here. And then the mediation effect in term is a direct and indirect effect. A direct effect describes the relationship linked with the two construct with a single arrow. Indirect effect are those structural model path involve sequence of relationship with at least one intervening construct involved. So it's a pass by to the C and go to the A. Yeah, that is the process. So for the indirect effect, the sequence two or more direct effect are represented usually by multiple arrow, right? So figure the both effects P3 between Y1, Y3, indirect effect Y1 on Y3. That's why we have a sequence Y1 to Y2 to and Y3, right? So what are the special thing for the Smart PLS 4 is it can be multiple mediation. So that means moderated mediator, mediated moderator. That one is advanced level can be measured, right? But we are as a user, that means researcher, scholar, postgrad, student, we must remember whether these are the relationship is supported by theory or not, right? Don't simply implement. So for this is a supporter, literature supporter, you can use it. So that they already prepared the platform ready. Yeah, the software can measure for you, right? So the final sum of the direct and indirect effect refer as a total effect, right? It means the P1 times the P2 plus a P3. Okay, these are the some explanation, right? So there's a number of incident they apply. So seawater temperature is got the effect. So maybe the number of incident increase because there's a number of swimmer also increase, right? That's a possibility. When the direct relationship there is a negative, that means in indirect there is a possibility. These are the some of the concept, right? So but we still refer to the Baron-Kenny mediator concept as well, right? So and then the effect type we must know what is the just now explanation at here. Indirect effect is a P3, indirect effect is a P1 and times P2, right? For the value need to times. For total effect is a direct effect P3 plus with the indirect effect. Then only you get the total effect. These are some statistical result. Later when we analysis, we can know deeper. Okay, testing for the mediation. So sometime those days we go for VAF, right? VAF analysis, then they mention is a 20%, and then they mention about the I think 50% and then less than 20, no, 80%, 50%. Those days, these are the concept of the analysis. They mentioned that full mediation, partial mediation, and no mediation. Right. That's the those days interpretation. But now there is, according to the Zhao, among his identification, he said when used the bootstrapping, of course, we can get the result p value. So first thing is we must check P1 multiplied by the P2. That means the indirect effect is a significant or not significant. It's a clear cut. Must identify first, right? If no significant, right, the result shows the p-value when run the bootstrapping, the result shows that no significant, then please check at the P3. That means, where is the P3? That means here is the P3. I think my arrow is thicker. Let me my down. All right. The P3. So please check whether it's a yes or no. If there is a no significant, that means there is no mediation. Yeah, that means no effect. But there is a p-value is a significant, that means is a, of course, still no mediation, but there is a effect, directional only, right? Okay, the another side is if let's say P1, P2 is significant, right? So next check with the P3, that means a direct relationship. If there is mentioned there is no mediation, that means the P3 is a no mediation, it means that the full mediation, that means indirect relationship is a happen because P3 is a no significant. If here is a significant, then you can say whether P1, P2, P3 is a positive. If yes means is a partial mediation, if no means also partial mediation, because the straight line also is a significant, indirect also significant. So it is a complementary or partial mediation. Now, this is the way how we want to make analysis, go for the mediation, right? So these are the thing is advanced when you go for the PLS form. That means it's a parallel mediation. Also, you can measure, but my advice is please check with your model and theory. Yeah, that is the thing. So these are the things, some of the measurements type of the models, right? We can consider this is also can be as a complex model. Okay, for the reporting mediation. So previously we go for the hypothesis and we're reporting for the mediation. So the relationship, you must go for the C to the A and to the D. For example, you must mention their relationship. What is the standard beta, standard error, T value, the confidence interval, and decision support. It's a clear cut. So these are the recommended literature. Still, you can refer to your website. Right. So when here we first, of course, we run the PLS algorithm. Okay. Still, the best part is if you, of course, you know already about your model have mediation. You check again the measurement model as usual. Screening, everything, discriminant, validity, everything screening. Then only moving on to the bootstrapping. All right. So run. Okay, open the report. Okay, these are the total effect. Okay, the data. And then total indirect effect. All the data is here. Straightforward, the p-value. These are the specific indirect effect. Right, so it's a cross by for the mediation. So it also shows that it's a significant. Yeah, these are the thing, the value. Then if the significant, then you need to check again here. So one by one, P1, P2 is a significant. Okay, if you know already all the direction significant, okay, significant, significant, straight away you can make a identify whether it is positive or negative, the relationship. Right. So here it's positive. Okay, straightforward. You know already. And then this one positive, positive. So it's all positive. Then you know already. Okay, what is the result? So from here it's come to the positive, then complementary partial mediation. If there is a negative inside, then it's become a competitive partial mediation. So more literature you can recommendation from here. straight away. So here for the mediation, please be careful with your supervisor. Some, yes, based on some feedback from the previous student, some of the supervisors still they want to include the Baron and Kenny for the mediation, right? And some of said is Baron Kenny is out of date. They say this preachers and here is more important. So please consider these are the you need to smart. Even though you want to use the smart PLS nowadays, you also must be smart in your analysis, right? So that's straightforward. Next, we moving on to moderation, right? So moderation is something like in between. Even though it's when you write up your proposal, you must be careful. You able to know what is the difference between mediation and moderation, right? So it's a moderate, yeah, moderate in between the relationship. Yeah, these are the things important. So here, what are the explanation? Moderation describe a situation in which the relationship between two constructs is not constant but depend on the value of the third variable. Yeah, for the moderation, right? So this moderating relationship are hypothesized for the priority by the researcher, right? So how? Let's say from your literature, you found that some of the previous study is significant, not significant. So you say that it might be no strong relationship here. So you can introduce the moderation to support, right? Or maybe it's a moderation is a possibility to make the relationship more weaker or strong. These are things because there's no any specific constants you want to introduce, right? For that one, please go through the literature. So when and how to use the moderation from the theoretical part. Okay, here for the moderation, so analysis is something like this concept. So P3, P1, each can must be in between, right? So interpretation P1 is called direct or main effect, straightforward when no moderation is included. So that means the M1 is not available, right? It's a simple effect. So when include the strength of relationship between X and Y, when M is 0, we standardized data, strength of relationship between X and Y when M is its mean. That means it's appear, so it's a strength of the relationship, right? So it's a third person, right, coming in, so it's a become strength relationship. When M is a change by one standard deviation unit, P1 expected to change by its size. So if there is a changes, then it will impact the relationship for the standardized data. Okay, for the moderation analysis, we always go for the two-stage approach. Yeah, for the measurement is optimum. So let's say it's a moderator, exogenous is a construct, reflective. We go for the determine the goal of the analysis. Right, for the formative is always a two-stage approach. I think most of the research we go for the formative, right? And we also have orthogonalizing approach and also two-stage approach. So what are these? So that means it's a product indicator approach. Yeah, if that means it's a categorical variable, last time it's available for the PLS 3. If it's a categorical variable, categorical something like age, gender, these are things a categorical. Some of the moderator, we introduce the categoricals, we can use it. And then for the variable use, we go for the two-stage approach. That means it's when you want to use, when use the formative construct involved. Yeah, when go for the formative, these are the formative construct involved. You can use the two-stage approach. Okay, for the orthogonalizing approach, let's say you want to interpret the strength of the moderating effect, or you found the less sample size, right? Or few indicator. These are the things you identify. But most of the research, they use the two-stage approach. Okay, let's me try some example. Okay, here I delete, here I delete. Okay, so for those who have been using the PLS3, sometimes we right click here, we can, those days we have need to add the moderating effect, right? So moderating effect, but add the PLS4. Oops. All right. Right, these are the example. It's a come from the PLS4. Right, you, let's say you want to know the relationship also, you can bring it. Right, last time the PLS3 is this function is not available. We need to add on here to add as a moderating effect. So now it can be add in between. So this line. So similarly, before you go through the moderating effect, you must undergo the measurement model, must conform with the validity, Cronbach alpha, reliability, AVE, right? For the measurement model, discrete validity, the cleaning, then only come to the moderating effect. So can run the bootstrapping. Okay, open the report. Okay. So here we got a negative and there is no moderation. Right, so it's not a significant. So at the here also we can found it. It's a minus, and then here is t value is less than 1.65 here. Okay, let's say you can change it to the p value. Okay, yeah, this can be more than 0.05. There's a moderate. It's not a moderate in between A, H, and A. But if they have a direct relationship, there is a significant, but can't moderate. Right, these are the example, which means that some of the variable, if go for straight relationship, they found the significant, but they can't go for moderate. So that's why before you select this variable, you must be careful whether it's suitable for your research framework or not. Yeah, that's why you must have sufficient theory and instrument, yeah, for support. Right, these are the examples running. And then here I put some analysis of the summary. So for your reference, who are the one need to refer. So here some indicator criteria I already put here for your better understanding. And then okay, GOF here is we didn't use it once we already started to the PLS predict. Yeah, PLS predict, so we didn't use it. Okay, and here is I put additional. This one I recently I found. Then I put here for additional. I think it's beneficial for those who are writing for the chapter 3 and go for the Viva as well. For the R square, so you must have a fundamental what is the meaning by the R square. Yeah, it's about the represent, variant, explain each other endogenous construct, right? So f to the power, you must know, yeah, what's happen for the R square. Okay, I got to put additional info here for you. Yeah, you can refer it. And then f square as well. So what are the variable? It's related. What is the meaning for the f square? And then q square. It's a q square, as I mentioned, must be more than 0. What is the measurement is reference 0.02 or 0.05 or 0.035. You must identify. And then factor loading. What's about is about the item underlying construct, represent item for the construct, right? Must be more than 0.7. If the AVE is less than 0.5, so you need to consider removal. Before that, check again the factor loading is less than 0.5 or above. If above, you can consider remain, but check with the AVE as well. And then R square value, what about the path coefficient? So that means how impact, right? How impact their relationship. That's why I said is how strong one variable influence other variable. That is the meaning for the beta value. Sometimes you have a negative value. For negative beta value doesn't mean it's not significant. Please not wrongly interpret. The negative value is mean it's a if A and B is a positive, that means 1 point for the A is an increase. Let's say A to B. Here is a positive. That means A is a percentage is a increase, then B also increase. So what happened here is a negative. That means A is a increase. That means the B supporting is a negative. No, we are going to downward. Right. For example, turnover of the employee at the organization. Let's say they measure the work stress. Right. So the work stress is increased, then the turnover also increase, right? So let's say another variable is, there is a reward. So the reward system they want to increase, so might be the turnover can be going down. It's a reverse way. So that is a sign is a plus and negative. Only the thing is relationship is a significant, not significant. Please refer to the p value. Must be less than 0.05. Yeah, these are the things must consider. So these are the things here they mentioned. Right? So and then construct reliability. So that means reliability of the consistency. Right, for the same respondent and the similar, whether there is reliable. Sometimes we run the pilot test. We want to go for combat alpha, all those things, right? And then for the modern way, we go for the composite reliability. So we also check with the raw value. So the raw value, when you check the value is in between Chromback alpha and composite liabilities, and raw value is recommended is 0.7. This must be getting through. And then the validity, how accuracy your result, you must understand. Construct measuring what you intend to measure. Statistically validity, construct validity must know. Right, and then component validity is AVE. Discriminant HTMT is the most important. Just now I explained how to troubleshoot at your cross-loading HTMT. Yeah, these are the things we need to cover for your analysis. All right, so these are the things is you need to know in your PLS SEM. So I got a, okay, I think believe everyone is got the article. If you ask me how you want to be expert or you want to well understanding, please get a recent article about the PLS SAM. So I stick with this article. That's why I put a title, when to use, how to report. So here everything is mentioned clearly, right? Right. So here is everything mentioned clearly. So we are, as a researcher, what we do, because of the time constraint, we just take the paper, just put the citation only. Right. It's of course there's less timing, but inside the paper, everything mentioned clearly. When, so small sample size, when to use the CB-SAM, right? Then I just now mentioned the power analysis, right? And then want to check the normality, everything mentioned clearly here. Yeah, so it's really helpful for you. For those who go for defend proposal or go for Viva, you please take this article. So you just go through 2-3 times, then you get a better understanding. So from my slide, some of them also already mentioned here this article, right? And then might be if you got a recent article published, please cross check what is the new thing they started to implement to minimize the error and support for your model become more stronger. These are things really important, right? This article. Okay.